Second down, 9. Mullins. He's going to dump this one off to Abu Wilson. Gets one block, which will spring him for 3, but it's going to be a 3rd and 6. Daniel Martin there to help wrap him up.
Dave, the Aggies had single coverage out there on Kevin Alexander, which is dangerous for UNLV to try to do, but it was a designed screenplay all the way, and that's what Mullins went to. There's Abu, who's second on this team in passes caught.
Mullins has been in a position where he's had to dump it off quite a bit, and Abu's the guy who gets it. 4 wide receivers now for Patrick Mullins. They need to get to the 39-yard line. Pass was a little low, but a nice scoop by Kevin Alexander, who dug down low, and that's a first down. Alexander, what a week he had. 13 receptions, 236 yards, couple of touchdowns against Nevada last week. He's on a roll.
Those yards are a school record. Yeah, he's up to 73 with that catch today, but I guess they're going to bring this one back because of the flag.
You pointed out before the game that one of the officials down there is the guy that we remember from San Jose.
And there he is.
There he is.
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty, spot a foul, repeat, 3rd down.
That was a momentous day in the history of Aggie penalties. Unbelievable that afternoon. I don't remember how many. It was close to 20, I think.
Well, you tend to forget the unpleasant, and that certainly was. But that was Jack Gatto and his entire crew. They're here again.
So now it's 3rd and 24. And again, 5 receivers for Mullins. They need a bunch. Mullins got it. Depending on the spot, they've got the first down. Aaron Frazier. Wait a minute, that was Landon McBride. Landon McBride, number 88. So he comes in and makes a big catch.
McBride is a backup tight end for this team. We'll watch Mullins out of the shotgun, and he's pretty much looking at that spot over the middle all the way, and he fires for McBride, who makes a nice catch right here in stride. There you see him, and he's hit immediately. But the Aggies do get that first down.
McBride's a youngster, too. He'll be growing with this team. This Rebel that's down is clear back to the 26-yard line. Obviously, somebody giving pursuit in the backfield of the Aggies. But big play there, and already the Aggies come out and show that UNLV's the type of team that will allow you to throw the ball.
Especially over the middle. Now, 2 of those 3 completions have been against guys like P.J. Tyler, number 50, and Daniel Martin, number 28, the linebackers that I think the Aggies will go after a lot today.
Let's go down on the field. David Locke's there. David?
Well, it seems like on those opening plays by the Aggies, what they're kind of doing is they're setting up future things. They had Kevin Alexander, as Craig mentioned, one-on-one on that one play, and they ran the screen to Abu. We may see them trying to find out what they're going to get away with.
Well, that certainly seemed to be the case the first few passing plays. Now they're going to go on the ground. But you are indeed right. They're just kind of feeling out the defense right now. Abu's going to pick up a couple.
15 carries for 33 yards, about as low a game as Abu's had. And before that, against the Utes, he only had 78 yards, and that after 2 games of about 200 yards each.
Well, and Ramos came in last week and actually ran the ball very well while they had sat down Abu. He's in the backfield now. 2nd down and 8. Wilson looks left, has room. And Wilson will be stopped about 2.5 yards shy of the first.
A couple of key blocks on that, Dave. Number 1 was thrown by Jelon Harrison, the wideout, who came down to make a block, and Brandon Dyson leading out on the play. I think they're using Dyson as a guard today because of the injuries along the line, and you'll see him on this replay. Watch number 59 leading out. He may not be in the frame. There you see him. Dyson on the inside, and then the block right there by Jelon Harrison springs Abu for some nice yardage.
Well, and it leaves them with a 3rd and 3. Wilson has the first down if he gets a, depends on if he gets a spot from the San Jose crew or today's crew.
Close to first down territory. We have an official time.
And they're going to measure this one, it looks like. Abu Wilson hoping to get another year of football, depending on what the NCAA tells him. Any thoughts on which way that's going to go?
Well, I think it's a good argument because he did not go to school the year he was out, and that usually is sort of a determining factor. His leg was bad enough, he just had to go home and recuperate for several months, and usually that's the kind of thing that is awarded another year.
Well, it would be a big boost. Although watching Ernesto Ramos run last week was awfully impressive for the future.
And even Melvin Blue when he's going to meetings on time and everything.
Mullins is changing this play. Plenty of time. Complete. Touchdown Aggies, and that is Aaron Frazier. And Mullins had all the time in the world to stand back there and pick the open man.
And Frazier didn't do a bad job catching the ball almost at the goal line as well. He had 15 catches coming into the game. That's his first touchdown catch. Let's look at it again as Mullins drops with good protection this time. Even Abu throwing a block down the left of the screen and fires right toward the goal line, and leaping number 82. Frazier makes it and dances on in from about 3 yards out.
Mullins has completed all 4 of his passing attempts for 73 yards. Wow, what a clip if he keeps that up. Patrick Mullins, as we said at the beginning of this game, could be headed for a huge day.
87.
The Chevy Truck America's opening, November 25th and 26th at the Park City Ski Area. Catch superstar Alberto Tomba, last year's overall World Cup champion, as he leads the charge for over $100,000 in prize money. For ticket information and event schedules, call 801-649-8111. The 10th annual Chevy Truck America's opening. It's not just a ski race, it's a celebration.
Inkley's, Utah's largest camera dealer, is also Utah's only premier Pentax binocular dealer. We stock every model, including the smart compact Jupiter 7x20 model for just $59.99. We also carry a full line of Pentax compact zoom cameras, including the world's first full-featured weather-resistant zoom compact camera in an exclusive Inkley's kit. And this easy-to-use ultra-compact with zoom lens is just $149.99 at Inkley's. Inkley's, our everyday sale prices will save you money on Pentax cameras and binoculars.
It's a beautiful day here in southern Nevada. Aggies leading 7-0 over the Rebels. Let's go down on the field now where it's got to be pretty warm for David Locke. David?
Well, you know, 2/3 of the country is pretty winds. It's not so bad here. And Krista keeps me a little company. It's getting a little hotter out here. I might have to take this coat off, guys.
Well, his mic's checking out there a little bit, but I think we get the picture. It's warm down on the field, and we may not see or hear from David the rest of the game. Rebels with the football to the 25-yard line. That kickoff brought to you by your Utah Intermountain GMC truck dealers. And Carlos Baker returns the kick for UNLV up to the 25. So the Rebels will take over there with their first offensive possession. And the quarterback is Jared Brown. Again, this is a team that really prefers to keep it on the ground, whether it's the quarterback or his running backs. And the running back is Burton, and Tony is hit immediately. Doesn't get much. Burton comes into the game averaging about 75 yards per game, and his running mate, Shannon Wilson, about 80. Let's take a look at the Rebel offense then. A couple of young wide receivers, Baker and Williams. In fact, Williams is just they're both freshmen.
Tight end number 10, White, is a good one, too.
And across the line, they got some seniors there and a couple of freshmen. So there's a lot to look forward to and a lot on their way out. Burton's going to go to the air. Pass is complete at the 30-yard line and a first down. Carlos Baker, he's the kid that returned that kickoff. So the Rebels come out with a run and a pass, and both are successful. Well, the run gets you a couple of yards. Let's take a look at the Aggie defense. One guy noticeably missing. We'll get to him in a second. First, the front 7 right there. Of course, Gill and Green.
One guy noticeably there is 92 Older Fiafia, who's back.
Right. And then for the defensive backs, though, John Dale Carty is in because Spencer Wagner, he had 2 interceptions last week, and I guess that's enough. Now he's got the flu. Reverse. And not much going for Carlos Baker around the left side.
Markel King making the tackle on the play along with Kenyatta Green.
Baker, number 82 there, is a true freshman. They have 3 of them that start with Briscoe and Williams, a wide receiver, and Baker. The veterans are along the offensive front, and that's really why they run the ball so well, with good running backs and a veteran offensive front blocking.
And a couple of big ones there, too. 290 pounds, 295 pounds on the right side. Brown to throw. He's going to run. This guy can run. You've got to watch Jared Brown when he gets in trouble. He doesn't mind taking off, and he's got a first down across midfield.
Pickup of 11 on the play.
The Aggies, Dave, as we watch Brown again, have not played very many good running quarterbacks this year. Tony Hildy of Boise State comes to mind, but the others haven't had this dimension like Brown does, and the Aggies prepare for him. They do have, as I said in the pregame show, set running plays, and you can see it. He doesn't hold the ball like they coach him to, but he can run with it well.
Like a loaf of bread. First down at midfield. Rebels have the ball, and they are moving back to the ground game again, and a hole is opened up for Tony Burton. And Burton all the way down to the 20-yard line. Big yardage for Burton before Markel McCain finally drags him down from behind. 29-yard pickup.
Thanks a lot.
Go ahead.
Quickly. Well, I'm not sure. There was 1 of 2 receivers he could have been going for. One of them was David White. Like he had been a little bit held up, and then Damon Williams on the
Again, they have been to the point where they've started that man there, Brown, for the last 2 games. He has never games in a row in his career, and that and getting the timing down with these young true freshman wide receivers, thought they had things going, but not on that play.
2nd and 10. Brown will. That was complete. Still up on his feet. They're going to spot that at the 8-yard line, but Damon Williams, one of the freshman wide receivers, who was, by the way, a quarterback in high school. But he gives the Rebels another first down, and they're at the 8-yard line. Craig, these 2 teams, are we going to have just an offensive explosion today? That's what we're seeing so far.
Expected, but I guess it could happen. This is Williams, their leading receiver, with 27 catches coming into the game, which isn't a lot.
Back to the ground game. Markel McCain is there to knock Tony Burton out of bounds. Actually, he may lose a yard. Yeah, they'll give him forward progress, so. Here's Tony Burton. He's a junior. Had 177 yards last week against North Texas State. And the other running back, who we haven't seen yet, Shannon Wilson, had 126 yards. So that tandem really chewed up the ground game last week.
Well, the Aggies aren't particularly anxious to see the other guy because he's a lot bigger, and it reminds them of O'Malley with Utah, who had such a field day against him.
Brown looking to throw. He's in trouble. There could be a holding call here. This will probably be, no, it doesn't matter now anyway, but there's a flag in the backfield, and I think we're going to have holding, and that's the case. Brown was in trouble from the get-go on that play anyway.
Starts out as sort of a rollout with pressure all the way from I believe, or Avaya was, and then Markel McCain back at the back of the end zone with number 10, David White, the tight end.
You know, with all the indecision by their head coach, Jeff Horton, it's tough to be a quarterback, actually, in this system. David Locke has more on that, David.
Jared Brown's done something quite remarkable. He started the last 3 games. He's played all 3 of those games, every minute of those games as a quarterback in only 8 of 21 games under Coach Jeff Horton. has the quarterback played the whole way. It may be why Jared Brown's come out quickly, because he knows the hook's right around the corner if he doesn't.
Well, and he's been impressive in this drive. But so now that they've gotten into the red zone, they're moving backwards. Second down and goal from the 24. Brown again. And he threw the ball really before Tony Burton made his cut. And when Burton turned, you could clearly see that the sun was in his eyes. There was no way he was going to find that ball, and it was over.
The timing was really bad on that one. And David Locke talking about the quarterback situation. Last year, a guy named Jason Davis, who now sits on the bench, he's a senior quarterback, threw for 347 yards in 1 quarter against John L. Smith's Idaho team. He doesn't want to see him either today.
Well, yeah, Idaho won that game, though, didn't they?
Yeah, leading 45-10. They held on to win 48-38.
Incredible. Well, Brown was almost brought down from behind. You could see Danilo Robinson just slapping his hands on the turf thinking, oh, I had a sack, but the pass is incomplete at any rate. So John, he hasn't lost to the Rebels.
I don't think he has.
No, he hasn't. No. Hey, your Dodge dealers remind you that the rules have changed in 1926. How about this? More than one incomplete pass in the same series of downs, and you got a 5-yard. Boy, would that put a premium on efficiency. This field goal is going to be short and wide right. So the Aggies come away with a fine defensive stand after the Rebels get all the way down near the goal line, and the Aggies hold the lead.
Taking up less space. Space Saver by Proform.
As a rule, engines develop good torque only when you push hard on the accelerator. But even at idle speed, a Dodge Magnum V8 can pull this loaded Ram 1500 and this loaded 2500 and a loaded 3500. 15 tons. That's because every Ram truck has to pull more than its own weight, even at idle. That's our rule.
See your Utah Dodge dealer.
I guess you could call it a case of the bend but don't break type defense. That's the phrase they use up at Utah. But the Aggies allowed the Rebels to get all the way down to the 8-yard line, but UNLV comes away with nothing after the missed field goal. So good defensive effort at the end of that drive by the Aggies. And here comes Patrick Mullins. He's perfect so far today. And the Aggies take over once again. No one in the backfield for Mullins. Clearly, the Aggies plan to come out here and throw the ball. Mullins had to pick that one up off the turf. Passes through the hands of Alexander. That's his first incomplete pass of the day. But Craig, no question, they're looking to go the air route so far.
Well, that was they came out and that was the same formation the very first play. When we saw Abu run off the field, we knew something was up, and that's the style of attack here against this defense.
Three wide receivers all to Mullins' left, and Wilson behind him. Draw to Wilson. And Abu with some fine running. A pickup of about 8.5 yards roughly. Will leave him with 2. P.J. Tyler made the stop, but again, we talked about those linebackers. He picks up 8 yards before one of the linebackers can bring him down.
Well, it was really a draw play, and you can't see it, but Novich Hunter, the right tackle, did, well, he's 57 on the left. You screen, he comes right. He did the perfect job, as it appears, obviously, the other guys did to free him for that kind of yardage.
3rd and 2. Wilson. And not going to happen. Rossi Johnson shuts him down, and the Aggies will be held here. They'll have to kick the ball away as Wilson's a couple of yards shy, so the Rebels come out and hold.
just like everybody else in the country, I assume, the Aggie offensive line has had a lot of injuries. And today, Brandon Dyson, former starting tackle, is now a guard. Troy Kemma is out. Darren Mitchell is through. Novich Hunter is starting. Travis Guinea starts. And Robert Holmes, once a center, is now a guard. That's the way it goes today.
Wilson, 5 carries for 17 yards. I know John L. Smith wants better production than that. Punt coverage by the Aggies holds quite well, 57 yards. And Carlos Baker is all the way back to his 11-yard line. Excuse me, make it the 16-yard line, and the Rebels will take over there when we come back.
Now that cold weather set in, come into Intermountain Farmers for warmer work clothing. Because if your job keeps you outside during the winter months, you know how cold it can get. Dressing properly can be critical. So whether your outdoor activities are for work or for fun, come see our stylish new jackets and workable insulated coveralls. Designed to be convenient and easy to put on as well as comfortable to work in. IFA has the cold weather apparel you need at a price you can afford.
We're still serving your needs at home and on the farm. We're IFA.
Affiliated Insurance Agency is a locally owned and operated independent insurance agency. We business insurance. One of the main business owners are concerned about is the that they're doing with. I have been in the insurance business 40 years, and Affiliated Insurance Agency is going to be in business for many years to come.
John L. Smith trying to guide his team to their 3rd victory of the year. 7-0 right now. The Aggies leading UNLV, but the Rebels just held the Aggies 3 and out. Now they take over with Jared Brown at quarterback. Going right to the air and completing the pass all the way up to the 30-yard line, Carlos Baker. Baker's been busy. He returns punts, returned the kickoff. He ran once. He's caught a couple. We're only in the 1st quarter.
Well, I'm sure that was the recruiting line they gave him. You're going to come here and play right away. Here's a little bit of pressure on Brown as he finally winds up and gets rid of the ball. And that catch made by Baker, David Gill closing in, and Mike Hudson, 27, among others.
First down for the Rebels. Brown again to the air. It's kind of lobbed this one up. He was in trouble. He was about to get nailed. He just kind of threw that up for grabs. Lamar Briscoe, the intended receiver.
Had a little pressure from Greg Stenson, who was a starting tackle for this Aggie defense the very first game of the year against Arkansas State, and injured his ankle in that game and has not played very much lately until now. And he and Fia in there. The Aggies have their starting tackles back in the 10th game of the year, and they haven't had that combination most of the season.
2nd and 10.
Here's the other running back we've been looking for. Shannon Wilson, 6'2", 235-pounder. He's a senior, averages about 80 yards per game, and he's a bulldozer.
This is the guy that has been gone from here a couple of years, and he changed his name. His name used to be Shannon McLean. Then he left here, signed with Ohio State, didn't play. Signed at Eastern Michigan, didn't play. And then went to a junior college and played. Now he's back here, and 2-3 years ago, he got 650 yards rushing.
Well, if they keep changing his name, nobody knows who he is. That's one way to get extra eligibility. Oh, 3rd down. They only needed 2.5 yards, and they try to draw the Aggies off sides. The question is, will it be motion? And that's kind of the indication. Let's go down on the field of David Locke while they sort this out, Dave.
Well, there's an interesting little chess match going on as they give the offsides against the Aggies. And that is that the 5-2 system, the defense coordinator for the Aggies, Chris Smealin, runs, tries to take advantage of the weak side of the offensive line. And on the other end of the football, UNLV is running trips to the weak side. They're even running the rollout to the weak side at the extra guy coming in. It should be interesting to see how each team adjusts to this throughout the ballgame.
Our sideline reports brought to you by Inkley's for the best value on photo and electronics. And it's a first down, as you pointed out, David, by way of penalty. Boy, we saw the Aggies give up a lot of that last week. Uh-oh, open receiver. But Carlos Baker can't hold on. That might be one reason why the Rebels don't throw a lot. Baker was just, I mean, he was all alone.
Yeah, but the guy right there in your picture can't deliver often enough. And as we said at the top of the broadcast, in fewer pass attempts than Mullins, and of course Patrick throws a lot, this guy, Jared Brown, has thrown more interceptions. And Patrick obviously has struggled himself, so you can tell the ratio is even worse on their sideline.
Yep. Shannon Wilson is the running back, and he'll get the call. And Wilson gets a couple. But the Aggies stack them up, and that's going to leave UNLV with a 3rd and 8. You know, you'd drawn the comparison to Wilson to Ma Fala at Utah. And the funny thing is, you look at Wilson, and as big as he is, he's still 20 or 30 pounds lighter than Ma Fala.
Well, if Ma Fala is really over 270 and this guy's really 235, that is a big difference.
Actually, that's what is 270. Then it's about 40, 45. He's huge. 3rd down. They need 7. Brown gets out of trouble, backs up, got to throw it. The receiver's out of bounds. He went out of bounds anyway. He was out of bounds for half that route. I mean, he cut inside a couple of coaches, went around back to the bench, had some Gatorade, zipped back in, and made the catch.
And obviously you can't do that.
No. That would be beyond the rules, wouldn't it?
Now, the one thing about Jared Brown, well, we won't see the first part of that play, but he has an escapability factor into his game, but that doesn't do any good when
he's a yard out of bounds, and then he tries to run back in. Oh, yeah. I was in. What do you mean? The guy was in Pahrump when he made that catch. Rebels punt it away. And a flag is down again. The Aggies have the ball at the 22-yard line, but there is a flag down. 44-yard kick.
12 yards return.
Brown, by the way, here's something for Coach Horton to think about. 3 of 9 for 36 yards, and he's missed several people. And as you might expect, this penalty is going to go against the Aggies. At least the officials appear to be headed north. That's the case.
Illegal block by the receiving team during the run back. Penalized half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
The athletic department would like to...
Well, both teams came out with fine offensive drives, but neither has been doing much since then. We'll be back to the Silver Bowl.
Foundation luncheon, November.
When I'm in my Jimmy, nothing gets in my way. Of course, I've got Jimmy's available 4-wheel drive anti-lock brakes and premium smooth suspension. Yeah, when I'm in my Jimmy, I'm in complete control. It's when I get out that I begin to panic.
Now with the purchase of a GMC Jimmy, you can get up to $300 worth of add-on accessories at no charge. See your Utah Intermountain GMC truck dealer today.
There's a reason why people trust us. There's a reason for success. There's a reason why time and time again you'll be coming back to us. We got what it takes. We got what it takes.
Take a test drive at any Larry H. Miller dealership during November and get a free pumpkin pie from JB's Restaurant.
Whatever it takes.
7-0 Aggies leading after the illegal block. Sends them back a little bit. They're at the 8-yard line. Patrick Mullins came out and led this team on its initial drive all the way down the length of the field for a touchdown. And he's trying to do it again. 3 receivers from Mullins, and number 1, Abu Wilson behind him with a hole on the left side. And Wilson, a fine pickup all the way up near the 30-yard line before Jabbar Thomas drags him down. Thomas, by the way, the leading tackler on this team. And this second look at Aggie football, brought to you by Recreation Outlet. They're never undersold.
And look at number 61. You could barely see him, but he let out. He was the starting left guard and pulled on that sweep to the right side and was well ahead of Abu and made a nice block to get him going.
Well, when your leading tackle's in the secondary, your leading tackler, Obviously, you give up a lot of passes. Oh, big hit on Kevin Alexander. They're going to say he did not catch the ball. And it's Thomas again. Jabbar Thomas, number 32, that leveled him. Good timing.
Well, the Aggies are trying to take advantage of the linebackers, but when Thomas is up into the play so quickly like that, and he is a solid tackler, then that makes a big difference. Tyler and Robinson, some of those guys, don't have that reputation. But here's Kevin getting the ball and then getting whacked at about the same time, and he can't hold on to it.
Second down 10. On the ground to Wilson. And Wilson cutting and slashing. Still on his feet. He's got a first down and more. Abu Wilson could go the distance. That's a touchdown for the Aggies, but it all could be coming back. There is a hanky back at the 38. Wouldn't be ashamed to take this away. Oh, man.
That was a little counter play that you see the guards pulling into the hole, and apparently one of them held, obviously, from that call there by Jack Goddard.
Yep. Oh, penalties will kill you. Let's run down to David Locke while they sort this out.
You know, the chess match we talked about earlier, it's obviously going on Utah State's fashion on 2 levels right now. Craig Hislop alertly pointed out, hey, they've got linebackers covering the inside slot receiver when they send trips to the long side. It was Kevin Alexander on that play where he got hit pretty hard over the middle. The other thing that means is they're trying to keep linebackers in the ballgame to stop the run, but by bringing trips out, the linebacker's not there to stop runs like that by Abu Wilson. So on both ends, the running and the passing game, the chess match going to Utah State right now.
But unfortunately, penalties are hurting. Boy, that was just it's a beautiful play. Just all for naught. Second down and 11. That's Alexander in motion, and again, Mullins has 5 wide receivers. In and out of the hands of Alexander. Probably good, actually. If he had caught that thing, there were rebels all around him. Mullins had to get rid of it in a hurry. Today's game sponsored in part by IFA, still serving your needs at home and on the farm. Now Mullins needs 11 yards on third down. They need to get to the 39, and again he'll come out with 5 wide receivers. Well, the Rebels busted through in a hurry that time. Patrick needs a little better protection here. Snaps a little low, but he's got it. He's got plenty of time. Wide open. Oh, wide open receiver as Alexander had no one on him. Again, there is another flag on the far side of the field. But, oh, did Alexander get free?
Well, Kevin got bumped off first by a linebacker and then a DB that was up close to the line, and both of them lost track of him, and Alexander was looking all over the place, and I don't know for sure who he was throwing to, but it wasn't there.
Well, it's offsides at any rate, so that'll move the ball up 5.
Offside.
So the Aggies will be left with a 3rd and 6.
Third down.
Interesting penalty on that previous play where the ball was at the 29. Abu went for the touchdown, and after the penalty, it's at the 28.
Well, that is interesting. Somebody needs to get the refs a new calculator. Sack. Marvin Robinson gets to Patrick Mullins. And a check of today's scores brought to you by Gringos, home of great Mexican food served fast. Northern Illinois trailing Arkansas State. Aggies split with those 2 teams this year. It's kind of interesting. We'll get this in a second. Air Force leading Army big. But when you look at the, and there's BYU 17-6 over New Mexico. When you look at the common opponents, you know, UNLV beat Arkansas State. Utah State just barely lost to them. But UNLV lost to Northern Illinois 62-14. They just got thumped. And yet the Aggies turn around and they beat up Northern Illinois 42-7. when you look at common opponents, they actually favor the Aggies in terms of how they perform. Once again, Carlos Baker, Mr. Do-It-All, number 82. 38-yard kick, not much there for the Aggies. We're dead stuck on 7-zip. No one seems to be able to move the ball. We'll be back.
Imagine yourself in a Mercury now. It's the all-new Mercury Sable.
Imagine a sedan that looks this good, inside and out.
Imagine it's all this affordable.
And look, a front seat that can hold your cassettes, your coffee, or even a close friend.
And just imagine going 100,000 miles without a tune-up.
In the new car that's 1,000,000 miles ahead of the competition.
Drive Sable at your Mercury dealer. Imagine yourself in a Mercury now.
Silver Bowl, 7-0. 7-0 Aggies leading the Rebels back here at the Silver Bowl. Rebels just ran one play, and it was a pickup from Jared Brown of 8 yards. Brown hasn't had much success passing. He's trying the running. Behind Brown, Tony Burton and 3 wide receivers. And it is Burton. Burton's got the first down. Jeff Horton, the Rebels head coach, comes out of Nevada Arena. That's an interesting story in and of itself, really. He's a head coach up there. They brought him down here. But they were a real throwing team up there. I suspect it's going to take him a few years to find the right guy to throw the ball. It's a little bit of a departure for him to run this type of offense. 1st and 10. Brown's pass complete all the way to the 32-yard line, and Carlos Baker again comes up big.
Greg Miller making the tackle on the play. 17-yard pickup.
And the key here was he had time to throw it, and he threw it on the mark, which he hasn't done all day today. And Baker, who's now become the featured receiver at least today, is wrapped up by Craig Miller right there. Again, true freshmen, 3 of them start as receivers for UNLV.
Actually, the pass was a little bit behind Baker, but he made a nice adjustment for the catch. 1st and 10. They'll try the left side, and a nice hole for Tony Burton. Burton finally caught, but not before he gets to the 15-yard line where Markel McCain drags him down.
The difference in this play is with the way Burton gets there so quickly. You might see Kenyatta Green. He was blocked right out of the play, and Burton cuts to the inside before he's finally brought down. But he's probably the fastest man on this UNLV team, and a big difference in the offense than Shannon White, who's big but not as fast.
5 carries for 49 yards was what Tony Burton has piled up so far, and here he goes again. Doesn't get much, though, around the right side.
Tripped up to the line of scrimmage.
Let's run down to David Locke. A little something on Jeff Horton, the head coach here, who came from Nevada Reno.
Yeah, and he's not a favorite word down at Reno, but the funny one that's just happened around here locally is in the media guide, it says he was a 3-year letterman at Arkansas. Now they're finding out, they checked with Arkansas, they don't seem to have him. So the big mystery is, did he really play there?
Did he really play there? Oh, I'll have to do some investigative work. We'll be back. That's the end of the first quarter. Aggies lead it 7-0.
Imagine yourself in a Mercury now. It's the all-new Mercury Sable.
Imagine a sedan that looks this good, inside and out.
Imagine it's all this affordable.
And look, a front seat that can hold your cassettes, your coffee, or even a close friend.
And just imagine going 100,000 miles without a tune-up.
In the new car that's 1,000,000 miles ahead of the competition.
Drive Sable at your Mercury dealer. Imagine yourself in a Mercury now.
We have a surprise for you at Blacker Furniture. We've joined our family with the RCA family. RCA has a new 18-inch satellite dish that's sweeping the country. We have them here, along with a full line of RCA color TVs, VCRs, and camcorders. Another busy area in our store is our carpet and vinyl department. We have one of the largest selections in northern Utah and a great team of professional installers. For all of your floor covering needs and electronics, visit Blacker Furniture. We're still the home of the soft sale.
Yeah, you're not in Seattle. You are in Las Vegas. That's Bob Stupak's Vegas World Tower. He built that thing. He wanted to have the tallest building in Las Vegas, and look how tall that thing is. There's actually, I understand, a roller coaster on the top of that thing.
Geez.
Some restaurants and stuff in there, but as you pull back, you can see that it just towers above everything else.
And by the way, Dave,
back.
this just in, you know how Shannon McLean changed his name to Shannon White? Well, look up Jeff Grabowski in the Arkansas book. He changed his name to Jeff Horton.
Okay, we've uncovered the mystery, David Locke. Pass is complete once again to Baker.
Brown's pass, complete.
So Horton was who? Horton here's a who? What was Horton's name?
I was just trying to help the story along.
I know, I'm trying to help Locke down here.
Jeff Grabowski.
Did you hear that, David?
I just was wondering what he'd do, get married?
Well, we won't tell you what David Locke's real name is. At least it's close. 3rd down and 1. Aggies trying to get into the end zone. Excuse me, the Rebels. Aggies have already been in the end zone. And they'll be stopped about 2 yards shy. Tony Burton. And there was a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Aggies are saying it's going against UNLV.
Brown turns. There's Burton to take it. Boy, somebody was blocked right out of the picture. Markel McKay, number 3, can't make the stop as Burton's down to about the 2.
Well, last time the Rebels got down into this area, the Aggies held them again. They moved progressively backwards.
Holding
Be an
on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, 3rd down.
There's your call holding. Jeff Horton doesn't like it. The former Jeff Grabowski. 3rd down. They can get a first at the 5-yard line. Pass into the end zone. It's going to be intercepted. It is intercepted, and they'll spot it at the 1.
Well, Craig Miller came up with it and did a nice job in the end zone. So you remember the very first drive Nevada or UNLV had, and they got down close, and their holding call pulled them back. And it did again this time, and then Miller takes advantage of it with the interception.
Let's go down to David Locke. Dave?
Well, you know, his coaching works. Chris Smealin looked at all his defensive backs right before the last drive, and he said, hey, come on now. He lobs the ball up there. Keep looking at the ball. Don't just watch the receiver. Right there, he got an interception out of it.
Worked out perfectly. This team, UNLV, is going to be in the WAC next year, and I'll tell you what, they're going to have a tough time. They don't start improving in a hurry. Wilson off the right side, and a good pickup for Abu Wilson. We mentioned he would be one of the keys to this game, and he's run well the last couple of series. Rossi Johnson finally stopped him.
You talk about UNLV going into the WAC, Dave. What about San Jose State? These teams in the WAC have got to be licking their chops with who's coming in the future, including some of those Texas schools.
Yeah, no question about that. And basketball-wise, UNLV probably be a little bit more competitive. But this football team's got a long way to go. Wilson around the left side. It gets extra running room, picks up a first down and more.
Harvard Robinson making the tackle.
That run will put Abu up over 50 yards. It's still not what the Aggies wanted, but he's getting the game going a little bit. Abu looking for a block is it's kind of hard to see what happened on that play with Harry busts through and Ivy Russell helping him out on the wing too.
1st and 10. Patrick going up top. Plenty of time again, and Alexander's got it at the 31. And one thing you have to say is that Patrick Mullins has had plenty of time to throw. He was sacked once, but generally speaking, he's had lots of time to throw today.
And that's a testimony to the offensive line. Again, a unit I don't think has played together with Darren Mitchell no longer available, and Novich Hunter and Travis Guinea having Robert Holmes come in as a starter, Brandon Dyson moving to a guard, and Troy Kemen not there now, and Davies back at tackle. It's tough to get your sink down a little bit.
Well, while we sort this out, we'll step away. Aggies lead 7-0.
The last thing this planet needs is another goofy gadget taking up valuable space. Yeah. Must be why Proform invented the Space Saver crosswalk. They don't call it Space Saver for nothing. Get it? Then get it.
Inkley's, Utah's largest camera dealer, is also Utah's only premier Pentax binocular dealer. We stock every model, including the smart compact Jupiter 7x20 model for just $59.99. We also carry a full line of Pentax compact zoom cameras, including the world's first full-featured weather-resistant zoom compact camera in an exclusive Inkley's kit. And this easy-to-use ultra-compact with zoom lens is just $149.99 at Inkley's. Inkley's, our everyday sale prices will save you money on Pentax cameras and binoculars.
Second quarter action here at the Silver Bowl in Las Vegas as Utah State leading UNLV 7-0. And the Rebels have their personnel taken care of there. Twice the Rebels have been within just a couple of yards of their goal line, and twice they've come away with zip. Once on an interception, and then once penalties forced him to kick a field goal, which was missed. Back to the ground game. Oh, Abu Wilson just nailed the line by P.J. Tyler.
Yeah, he's one of those guys we said at the start of the show has trouble getting off blocks. Maybe nobody blocked him that time. He's been a history of a backup linebacker for this team over the years. He's a senior now, but he certainly steps right up and makes the stop on Abu right about there. He absolutely whacks him to the ground.
Second down. Need about 8 here. Mullins looking to throw. He's got his tight end, but he'll throw it downfield, and it's caught by Aaron Frazier for a first down near midfield.
Dan Stewart making the tackle. Good for a first down for the Yankees. Yeah, 15 yards to the play, first and 10 at the 49-yard line.
On a rollout with some help, some protection from Robert Holmes. And way downfield, there's Frazier making the catch, and some room to work. Is finally coming up to make the stop was Dan Stewart, number 1 there.
15 receptions for Frazier coming into this game. Mullins going up top again. He'll dump this one off to Wilson. Flag is down in the backfield again, so this might be
in the backfield.
Well, there were 3 offensive line types back there with him, and Holmes and
I think this is
Novich
going against the
and
Rebels.
Dyson.
I think this one going against the Rebels.
Which is interesting, where the flag is.
Well, it may have been a roughing the passer.
Defense, roughing the passer.
Oh, what a
penalty
call.
is enforced. Completed 15 yards. First down.
So a penalty works in favor of the Aggies. Moves the ball all the way down to the 30-yard line. You know, Patrick Mullins at 6'4", 210. You know, when you got to really hit him to rough the passer. Is that Dave Locke holding on to the horse there? Oh, that is Dave Locke. I'm sorry. Hey, Melvin Blue gets a carry. Number 6. Rossi Johnson brings him down, but Melvin Blue doesn't play much. 128 yards coming into this game on the season.
Well, I made that comment earlier about Melvin. He missed a meeting or two, not really missing it, just being late, and that's really the reason he kind of slipped in the depth chart. Plus, Ernesto Ramos always runs well.
Apparently, they're retaping Abu Wilson's ankle on the sideline. That's why Melvin Blue is in there. And Blue again. Blue may stay in there if he keeps this up. Melvin Blue all the way down to the 10-yard line.
Webster making the tackle.
Abu who?
Yeah, here, look at him. He's running in the game. Hey, get out of here.
Well, the trainer's chasing him. He hadn't finished the taping job.
Abu says, Melvin Blue, 2 carries, 15 yards. I better get back in there.
Well, watch this run. This is just good power football right up that right side. Obviously, somebody blocked for him, too, but he made a lot of that run on his own.
Aggies knocking on the door again. It is a first and goal. Ball right, just barely inside the 10-yard line. That's a play that is well covered. Alexander was the intended receiver, but Jermaine Repster was with him step for step. This Aggie Fact brought to you by Tony Roma's, a place for ribs. NCAA receiving leaders. Look at that. All three of them in the Big West. Kevin Alexander is number 3. We saw Van Dyke last week. Actually, the Aggies, to their credit, played that passing attack of Nevada quite well. Wilson. Abu Wilson. Down to the 2-yard line. A crushing hit as he gets there, but the Aggies will have it. They're going to spot this. I got one official at the goal line. The other, okay, they've got spotted at the 2.
Jabbar Thomas also went on that tackle.
This is one of those runs where you'll see Abu often, the determined runner. He's usually hard to bring down on the first hit. You see here that's the case as he keeps driving the legs. The last couple of games it's been unusual, Dave, that the first hit has usually brought him down, but not today.
3rd and goal. Wilson. Mullen says touchdown. The officials have not yet signaled. Somebody's shoe is on the field.
4th and goal.
We're still waiting. I don't know if Dave Block's close to that. Dave, can you see how close they are? Where do they got it?
There's not much room here. Not much room at all. Probably about a half an inch at the most between here and the goal line.
Well, let's look at it again, and this angle is not the best as far as seeing where it ends up, but it sure looked like he had the push going in right there.
Patrick Mullins as the Aggies go for it on 4th and inches. Touchdown. And David Locke, Abu Wilson wasted no time getting back into the game on that drive.
Hislop said, and that is, in the past few weeks, Abu, particularly against Utah, seems like where he lost his confidence. Now he's hitting tacklers, he's rolling over them. That play that called back that long run may be more important than we realized.
Well, it was damaging. I mean, it was a beautiful run, and they took it away. Point after is good. Aggies lead at 14-0.
Now that cold weather set in, come into Intermountain Farmers for warmer work clothing. As if your job keeps you outside during the winter months, you know how cold it can get. Dressing properly can be critical. So whether your outdoor activities are for work or for fun, come see our stylish new jackets and workable insulated coveralls. Designed to be convenient and easy to put on as well as comfortable to work in. IFA has the cold weather apparel you need at a price you can afford.
We're still serving your needs at home and on the farm. We're IFA.
We had a call the other day from one of our major clients who is in the moving and storage business, and they had to move a $6 million computer across town. And I asked them when they were going to be doing this, and they said in about 3 hours. So I was able to not only provide the coverage and issue the certificate to the owner of the computer, but to make sure that it was covered. And this is one of the things that keeps the insurance business interesting.
Sunrise Mountain in Las Vegas, Nevada in the backdrop. Utah State leading UNLV 14-0. Warm climate down there. I actually lived down here for about 3 years during the 80s, and it was beautiful weather year-round. I remember we did get snow once, Craig, about an inch. The whole city shut down. I mean, they cannot move down here with a little bit of that on the ground. Aggies go up 14-0 and kick the ball away. It's going to go right into the hands of Carlos Baker. He's been doing it all for UNLV. Not much of a return, though, to the 15, perhaps the 16-yard line. That kickoff brought to you by your Utah Intermountain GMC truck dealers. You know, back in the days when I covered the Rebels and lived here, you had guys like Icky Woods.
Oh, yeah.
And Randall Cunningham.
Absolutely.
And 30,000 people in the stands. And the program hasn't done a whole lot since. Actually, last year they were okay. But they haven't really been able to get things going. Harvey Hyde was the coach back then, and they ended up having to forfeit the entire season for some wrongdoings.
Improprieties.
Yep. Several of them. Rebels take over. 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. And again, a pass that's just not on the mark by Jared Brown. He's had receivers open there. Amar Briscoe was open. And he just can't hit him. Jared Brown. Let's go back and take a look at the Aggie touchdown once again. So this is the attempt at the Aggie touchdown that was stopped just short. And then, of course, Patrick Mullins took it in. The ball is loose.
Burt, the ball carrier.
But Tony Burt manages to fall right back on top of it.
Lost a yard of play. It'll be 3rd and 11.
Yeah, I remember Randall's senior year here, as a matter of fact. That kid picked apart everyone they played except SMU, which was a game played in this stadium. The Rebels lost that one, and they had a little trouble in Hawaii. But he was like a man among boys that year, back in the old PCAA.
And people forget he was a pretty good punter, too.
Very good punter. Pass complete out in the flat, but nothing doing there. They're going to spot that one at the 19-yard line. Briscoe didn't have anywhere to go.
Again, this is another one of those true freshmen, number 6, Briscoe. His aunt, Valerie Briscoe Hooks, you remember her. She won 3 gold medals in the '84 Olympics.
The sprinter.
Absolutely.
So the Aggie defense holds, and so far UNLV looking good. Excuse me, Utah State. I don't know why I keep confusing these two. I guess
because you're home again.
All the years of working here. Funny thing is, we never televised the game. Flag is down. The thing that's strange is I would think Las Vegas would be a good place to recruit to. You wouldn't think it would be that tough. Warm weather, good facility.
Good ball.
Maybe a
Illegal
little
snap
too much
on the
nightlife.
offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Well, so far, all the things you've said were good points for these athletes.
Yeah.
Why not come to UNLV?
And you know what? If you're big down here, the city takes care of you forever. I saw the other day Ron Meyer is a casino host, the former coach.
Sure.
He's a casino host here in Las Vegas.
Well, he spent some time in the NFL.
But they don't forget. If you ever need, if you need to come back home, they take care of you here. Well, the Aggies are going to have good field position. Oh, it takes a UNLV bounce. They're still going to end up with decent field position. That is, if Jason Bandy could get headed north. Well, they'll spot it at the 30. That's okay, but a bounce at about the 43. When we come back, the Aggies will give it a go again.
So what exactly is the problem, Mr. Edwards?
Well, everywhere I go, people come up to me.
They want to be his buddy.
Your buddy?
Yeah, my buddy. I can't even leave the house.
So you want 24-hour protection. Expensive.
Wow. I gotta make a call.
You have a problem? We have a solution.
Bank One?
Bank One's home equity loan by phone. 1-800-352-LEND.
Great. Okay.
When do we start?
Oh, now might be a good time.
Big jobs need big muscle, we thought. So we built an engine with the power of 10 cylinders. A V6 should have V8 power, we thought. So we designed a multi-valve V6. A car should be as quick as it looks, we thought. So we built an engine that pounds out 415 horsepower. In fact, we spent so much time thinking about engines, you can almost hear the wheels turning. The new Dodge.
There's Craig Clark. He's the field judge and an old buddy of yours.
Well, I know Craig Clark because Craig Clark caught passes for 224 yards in 1972 against Utah. His record stood until last week when Kevin Alexander had all those yards. Craig Clark, the official today, the field judge, is the son-in-law of the team doctor, John Worley. How about that?
So there's a little nepotism going on the field.
Well, it doesn't hurt.
I haven't seen Craig throw a flag against the Aggies yet. Mullins going deep. Pass was underthrown, almost intercepted. The sun was in the eyes of Ivy Russell, but that pass was badly underthrown, and neither Russell nor Quincy Sanders could really make an adjustment on it.
Quincy Sanders, number 2 there, is the guy that was kicked out of the, or actually suspended, didn't play last week because of the fight against Nevada. A play-action fake as Mullins does not give it to Abu Wilson, then throws it downfield. It is underthrown, and Ivy comes back, but by then Quincy's in position, but can't get his hands on it.
Wilson, Abu Wilson. And Wilson's got room on the left side. Jabbar Thomas brings him down, but P.J. Tyler made a nice hit on Abu.
Boy, a nice shot at Travis Guinea snapping the ball to Mullins, and then Wilson taking advantage of the blocks to get a little bit to the outside. And again, the first guy that got to him couldn't bring him down. That's been the story today.
Dave Locke can't be a real good mood on the Rebels sideline. They thought they'd have a little winning streak going this week.
Wilson, the ball carrier.
Well, I don't know if they've ever been up 14-0. Not this year. Well, at least not in any games we've done. Quick stop there, though. That's going to do it for this series. He only needed a couple of yards, but Wilson is stacked up. Nathan Moriali will kick the ball away. And Carlos Baker, oh, he got a nice one. Carlos Baker all the way back to his 15 and wrapped up there. So the Aggies trying to hang on to a 14-0 lead, 5:40 to go in the half.
To thank Valley Auto Mall for sponsoring today's game. With 2 dealerships open and 3 more.
The Chevy Truck America's opening, November 25th and 26th at the Park City Ski Area. Catch superstar Alberto Tomba, last year's overall World Cup champion, as he leads the charge for over $100,000 in prize money. For ticket information and event schedules, call 801-649-8111. The 10th annual Chevy Truck America's opening. It's not just a ski race, it's a celebration.
We've been saying Mercury Villager is the minivan that drives like a car, but actions speak louder than words.
Mercury Villager, it's more like a sport coupe for 7. You'll love Villager's value. And the safety features, now with dual airbags plus anti-lock brakes standard.
I'd like to see you try that in any other minivan.
Imagine yourself in a Mercury now. At your Mercury dealer.
5 minutes to play in the first half here, and the Aggies looking pretty good so far, leading 14-0. Rebels come out again with quarterback Jared Brown. They got great receivers. They just, as you pointed out earlier, they don't have anybody to put it in their hands. He's been off target. There's another one going behind Carlos Baker.
Wait a minute. Behind him, you're trying to redeem this receiver you just complimented here.
All right, it hit him in the hands. But you know what? No, he is not an accurate passer.
I think he's proven that today. What is he, 4 or something out of 15?
There's Jeff Horton. Came down from Nevada, Reno. That's a brutal rivalry between these 2 teams. When you get into that north and south stuff.
Shannon Wilson, the ball carrier.
Shannon Wilson.
The 20-yard line.
Well, Dave, you talk about the Horton and Chris Ault situation. This is the second time that Horton's been a coach here. Now he's a head coach. He had 2 different terms at Nevada, but nobody seems to remember that they offered this UNLV coaching job to Chris Ault, who was then the athletic director at Nevada, for a big money package, and he turned it down. So then the guy he had just hired as head coach and was only there a year, Horton, he comes to UNLV. That didn't make the boss very happy.
It kind of surprises me that he'd have turned that down.
To come to Las Vegas?
Yeah, I don't, you're moving into a bigger conference. Now there's a rocket.
Brown's pass complete to Carlos Baker.
Don't you think?
Well, I guess he was settled there. Chris Alt's a big name
Oh,
in
yeah,
Reno,
he's
as you
been up there
know.
for like 20 years and that.
But they offered him a lot, and he turned it down. This time he does fire it right on the numbers, and Baker makes the catch, and the Aggies are right there to make the stop. But that was, I think that makes him 5 for 16 for 74. No, 6 for 16 now for 74 yards.
Well, they got a first down anyway. Rebels trying to move the ball. And this time Brown keeps it on the ground and nothing doing there. Ben Crosland just throws him down. When you can throw your man down and you're still standing running around, you've got some well, that's good arm tackling, I guess.
Well, and it's one of those deals where usually the Aggie defensive linemen are tackling somebody bigger than they are, and there's Crosland taking down the smaller, willowy quarterback for UNLV.
Last year, this team was 7-5, 5-1 in conference. Again, the pass thrown behind Carlos Baker.
Talking about them being 7-5 last year and going on and winning the bowl game, which was played here. I think their season really turned when they beat Utah State in Logan, and the Aggies were in a position to win that game. Micah Noor lined up for a kick and missed what for him was a fairly short field goal attempt, and UNLV went on to keep a winning streak alive and win the league.
You know, John L. Smith actually beat these Rebels last year. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Oh, yes, I am.
At Idaho.
That was the game where the guy came in the fourth quarter and almost beat him.
That's right.
Held on.
48-38. Brown's in trouble. Fires downfield, and it is caught. It is caught by his big tight end, David White, who managed to get free at the 43-yard line.
Looked like there had been a collision between White and 97 for Utah State, Danilo Robinson, and they were both, or Danilo was gone down. Here's Danilo out in coverage, in fact, back here. And he looked like he almost pushed White, and he still made the catch.
Well, Danilo just limped off the field. We hope he's okay. Brown is going down. David Gill with the sack. The Aggies' leading tackler. And it didn't look like anybody had a body on Gill.
You know, what's interesting, he had 141 tackles coming into this game, and none of them was a sack until right now.
That's his first sack of the year.
As Jared Brown's dropping back, looking to the left, but he didn't have a chance.
Well, that's going to leave him a bundle. Second down and 18 after a fine defensive play by David Gill. Brown again looking to throw. Tipped once, intercepted. Intercepted at the 37-yard line. And is that Craig Miller?
Yes, it is.
It certainly is. Second interception today, and last week, Spencer Wagner had 2 interceptions. Now, there's a flag down, but it looks like it's against the Rebels.
Now, yeah, there must have been some movement on the line, but here's Jared Brown with a little bit of pressure. The ball's going to be tipped right there by Markel McCain. You do that in practice every day, that kind of drill. And Craig Miller comes up with it, and with his good speed, brings it back upfield. Our statistician, Jeff Loveday, predicted that play. He said this would be an interception, and he was right.
No, he did.
Yes, he did. He turned to me right before the ball was
Craig, let's you and I take off the headsets and leave. We can't compete with that kind of prognosis. That's incredible. What's going to happen here? So the Aggies commit 2 interceptions from Miller. Last week it was Wagner who had 2, and he's not even with the team this week. He's got the flu. Pass is high. And frankly, you got to credit Kevin Alexander for just getting his hand up to knock it down, because if that had continued on its flight pattern, it was headed for a Rebel interception.
I was watching Kevin on his pattern. He started way out on the left flank and then did a little cut into the middle, and then he cut it off real fast. Obviously, that's the way it was designed, but it looked like he had a step or 2 on his defensive back, and he probably could have sprinted on in, but he stopped short, and the ball was not quite where it should have been.
2.5 minutes to play in the first half. Aggies, of course, would love to get another one. Uh-oh. Mullins, and there's going to be, that's going to be a penalty. Intentional grounding. I don't know what he was thinking there, but Mullins is sacked.
But the funny thing on that, and I shouldn't laugh, but Jack Gatto, who again, there he is in the white hat, he went to reach for his pocket to throw the flag, and he couldn't find it.
He was so excited.
And then it fell out of his other pocket, and so I guess it all ends up. Watch him. You can see him in the back here. Well, you can't now, but he reached for the flag, and it wasn't there. But that's a good call, I think.
Oh, no question, that's a good call.
It's a 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
That's a loss of
And loss him down. They're down.
Well, this will be an interesting play. You got third, and I wonder if he remembers the 3 penalties that were levied against the Aggies at San Jose State that left him with a 2nd and 44.
What do you mean, remember? That's the highlight of an official's career.
Since he assessed them all, I'm sure he does remember. All right, they need 30 yards. 5 receivers for Mullins. They need to get all the way down to the 30. They may have it. Alexander, oh, he couldn't hang on. Kevin Alexander had the ball in his hands. Jabbar Thomas knocked it out. But what a play that would have been. And Kevin is still down.
Here's Mullins looking off one receiver and throwing the other way toward Kevin Alexander, who has kind of does a little bit of a dance here, kind of twisting around on his pattern, but he couldn't hold on to it. And Dale Mildenberger, the Aggie trainer, sprinted out onto the field, and as he got there, they yanked him up. He wasn't hurt. He was just disgusted with himself.
Nathan Moriali to kick from his 27. Carlos Baker. Fumble. So Baker falls on it. Let's go down to David Locke quickly.
Well, I heard one of the best crowd rags I've ever heard. Some guy from the UNLV crowd yelled at Kevin Alexander, "Your quarterback hates you." Keeps laying him out like that. He's probably true.
Well, he was about to get nailed. Our sideline report is brought to you by Eagles for the best value on photo and electronics. So now, with 2:09 remaining in the half, the Rebels will try to move about 78 yards and score. Jared Brown still at quarterback. And one of the youngsters, Amar Briscoe, has a reception near the 30. And he gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 2:04.
2nd and 4.
Jared Brown up to 8 of 19 throwing the ball now for 93 yards. And a couple of, well, one has been picked off. 2 have been picked off.
Brown again. Brown wrapped up. He does the same thing. Get the flag out. There it is. Markel McCain had him wrapped out. How can you argue that? We just saw it. That's like a replay. I guess he didn't go to school,
well,
Patrick, huh?
Jack Gatto looked as if he did that upon your signal. I mean, he didn't throw that thing until he heard from upstairs. Here's the pressure from McCain, and as he goes down, and one knee almost down, whoa,
it is down.
It is down.
Oh, that's too funny. Look at Horton. What is he arguing? What could he possibly be arguing? Okay. 3rd down and 21 is what we've got left. 1:56. No, the Aggies are going to get the ball back again. Maybe. Maybe not. Well, this will be an interesting spot because it's complete right at the stick. It should be enough for a 1st down.
I think, well, I guess I was going to say I think they might have to measure, but I guess not.
To let it go. That's 1st down. So a big play. And the Aggies keep it going. 1:45 to play in the 1st half. The Aggies had a chance there to shut him down and get the ball back, but no go. Quick hit to the outside as Amar Briscoe makes the reception. Mike Hudson knocks him down in a hurry.
UNLV requests a timeout.
And the Rebels have asked for a timeout. 1:34 to go in the half. They're down 14-0. The Aggies have had a fine afternoon so far here in Las Vegas.
Oh, this is Brown, and going now to his new favorite receiver. Making that catch is Briscoe. Earlier, it had been Baker.
And Briscoe, another freshman.
Yeah. Carlos Baker, a freshman from Burbank. Briscoe making this catch, a freshman from Los Angeles. Damon Williams from Culver City. When they get a quarterback that can get it to him more frequently, it's going to be interesting in the future here.
You saw number 10 there. He's David White. He's their tight end. That kid's big. He's 6'5", 225. He's a senior.
You know, we've been talking about the trouble that UNLV has on defense, and today BYU is playing a team in New Mexico that has not been very good, particularly with their pass defense. And it's interesting, Dave, to reflect on the fact that the defensive coordinator at New Mexico is Fred Blyle, and the defensive coordinator here at UNLV is Stan Egan, and they used to both be together at Utah State as defensive coaches.
Is that right?
That's right, under Chuck Shelton.
How good was the defense? Oh, pass is caught at the 40-yard line, and if Amar Briscoe had kept his feet, you saw two Aggie defenders crossing right there. Sean Coleman going one direction, but you know what, folks? Forget it. It's all coming back. Holding.
I don't know if we can see who's holding the ball, but here's Brown on a play that should probably be a touchdown, notwithstanding the hold, because there's Briscoe making the catch and then gets too excited and does a little tumble, and he's down.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
Oh, this is a popular call.
Second down.
You know, we've seen holding now bring back several big plays today. You can just about call holding anytime you want. But very untimely penalties.
Well, on two good drives earlier, including the very first one of the game, UNLV hurt themselves with a big holding call on that very first drive.
Brown almost sacked, and then finally is grabbed from behind by David Gill. Initially, it looked like he was going to be dropped clear back at the 15-yard line. Is that Ben Crosland that had him first? Or Danilo Robinson?
Out of the shotgun, Brown looking to his left, still looking right over there. Then he can feel the pressure, and there's Danilo getting him around the ankles, and then David Gill coming in to make the stop, number 44.
UNLV Athletics is offering a new way to see Running Rebel basketball this year. It's called the 5 for 50 ticket package. What you do, you choose any 5 home games on the schedule and receive 1 reserve ticket to all 5 of those games.
Coach Sean O. Smith's got to be relieved to have things going his way this week so far. It's kind of a tough year, especially coming out of such a successful program that he had up at Idaho. 6 years up there, 3 NCAA postseason trips, won a lot of football games up there. And he'll do the same for the Aggies.
His contemporary, the basketball coach up at Idaho, now at Utah State as well, Larry Eustace, is going to show off his team tonight against the Sons of the Blue Angels at the Spectrum.
Well, sounds like a powerhouse.
John Wickizer and Silas Mills, Eric Franzen, those frontline guys, are going to lead this team. If the Aggies come up with some guards, well, they've already been picked to win the league by the coaches and the
I
writer.
thought it was interesting they were picked to win the league, and Eustace, you know, usually the pessimist, really didn't argue it.
Yeah, he knows he's loaded.
Brown looking deep. Oh, that ball's up for grabs. That might have been tipped.
Brown's pass incomplete.
Boy, it looked like it was. It had a weird flight to it.
Really strange, or just fell out of his hands wrong or something. That ball was going nowhere. So the Aggies will get the ball back. 55 seconds is what we've got on the game clock in this first half. Bandy at his 34-yard line. And Jason does some nice running. And he's all the way up to the 47. So the Aggies with 44 seconds on the clock, I'd certainly make a move for the end zone, especially with this good a field position.
12-yard return by Vandy.
Let's go down to David Locke.
You know, it's this time of the ball game where you get the extra cornerbacks in and you get a little extra defensive if you're UNLV. That Bob Petrino in the past has pulled out a trick play or two, so you never know what we may see here in the upcoming minutes.
Well, let's see what happens. 1st and 10 here. Mullins with 3 wide receivers and Wilson. Flags all over the place. I mean, they're everywhere.
Well, and it was pretty obvious what happened. Number 61, Robert Holmes, who I think has played well today, was hit hard and shoved into his own backfield, and as he went down, he took the guy that was rushing down with him. He grabbed his jersey, and they both just went down. It was about that simple.
He was just trying to get his balance.
And watch number 61, the left guard, right in front of Abu Wilson. He grabs the man there. Oop, he goes down, but he takes the guy with him, number 52. And in the meantime, the pass goes out to Abu. But the flag, which was a little late in coming, by the way, it's finally thrown.
What's wrong with that? It's a nice tackle. He just says, hey, I'm going down, you're coming with me. It's a little tough to hide that, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, that'll take the Aggies back to the 34 and 33 seconds left. And Abu runs right smack into his own lineman and still manages to pick up about 6 or 7 yards. And the Aggies will now take a timeout. So we're down to 25 seconds. The last minute of this half taken about 15.
Score for the Western Athletic Conference now in the second period. BYU 17, New Mexico 6.
Mullins is now 7 of 14, but he's really had a streaky passing game. He hit the first 4 passes he threw, including a touchdown pass to Frazier, 28 yards. He got him on the board. There's Mullins talking to Paul Petrino, who's the brother of Bob Petrino, who's up in the press box. And you see Matt Wells there, number 14, the backup quarterback. But Mullins hit his first 4 passes, missed 3, hit 3, and he's missed his last 4 now.
At the half.
Well, he needs to go 60 yards now for a touchdown, or at least get into some field goal position. 25 seconds. But already leading 14-0. Your options are get a few more options.
In the second period, number 22.
You know, you mentioned a minute ago about how Larry Eustachy's team is picked by everybody to win the Big West Conference this year. Every year they've improved on what was picked. They were picked 8th and finished 2nd his first year. They were picked 2nd and won it last year. You can't improve on being picked champion, can you?
Yeah, you could win the NCAA tournament.
Oh, okay.
Pass is complete, and this will be short of the first down. Out of bounds, though, at the 45-yard line.
Sean Griswold, who did not, interestingly enough, didn't make a catch last week against Nevada. He had a long streak of games, about 7 or 8 of them with at least 1 catch. That's his first today.
I was thinking he'd moved back to the line or something. He was so quiet last week.
Again, another play-action fake where the fake goes to Abu, and Mullins on a little rollout throws to his tight end, who catches it and continues upfield. Probably should have gotten out of bounds there, did he?
17 seconds left in the half. This is a 3rd and 12 play. Wilson's wide open. Oh, and he dropped the ball. Just absolutely wide open. No one near him. He would have gotten at least to the 20, 25-yard line.
Well, it was catchable, but not perfect. Again, he was sort of pulled back around by that throw to try to make the catch. And it was a little bit like Alexander's earlier when he was stretched up and had to turn around to make it.
Well, oh boy, the Rebels are having all kinds of trouble getting their people on the field. Part of the problem, too, is that exact angle the pass was thrown was directly in the sun, and that hurts.
Timeout on the field call.
The Rebels have to use their last timeout. But when they get the ball, there will only be a few seconds left in the first half anyway. Has this last minute dragged on for eternity?
It's called clock management. That's what they call it in the game.
It's called waste of time. All right, let's try this again. Nathan Moriali's kick is away, and that should end the half. And it will. We'll be hearing from Coach John L. Smith in a moment with David Locke. But right now, things going the Aggies' way. They lead at 14-0, and their defense has come up big twice when the Rebels had the ball inside the 10-yard line, and they've come away with no points at all as a result of that. So UNLV defense shutting out the Rebels, and their offense has 14 points on the board. And David Locke is on the field now with Coach John L. Smith. Dave?
You don't want to talk to me, John L.? Why not?
You're ugly.
Okay, that's a pretty good reason. But your defense seems to have at least started off where it left off last week.
Yeah, defense is playing good, extremely good. I'm proud of those kids. We've got to continue to do that. It would be nice if we could continue that for the game and get a shutout. That's what we have to build on. Offense, I don't have a lot to say about the offense right now.
Any changes you're going to have made at the quarterback or anything of that?
Well, I wouldn't look for any right now.
I don't see you on a GQ catalog either, my friend.
Definitely not.
Let's go back up to you pretty boys up there.
Quote I've heard all year, the absolute best. That's the quote of the year, folks. 14-0, the Aggies leading here in Las Vegas. Let's send you back now to our halftime report back in Salt Lake City with David James. David?
All right, thank you very much, Dave Fox. We are at the half in Las Vegas, and we have confirmation. He's ugly. It's true. David Locke, we got the update. Also, coming up in a few minutes here at the half, Craig Muller will check in on the rain in our forecast. Reese Stein will report live from the State High School Championship football games, and I'll take you to New Mexico, where BYU is trying to hold on to first place in the WAC.
Inkley's, Utah's largest camera dealer, is also Utah's only premier Pentax binocular dealer. We stock every model, including the smart compact Jupiter 7x20 model for just $59.99. We also carry a full line of Pentax compact